Hey everyone, Meredith here. And I know it's been a little bit since I've done a parenting video. I don't know about you, but quarantine has definitely been stretching my opportunities to lean into my parenting skills between homeschooling and I'm also helping to watch my 3-year-old niece, so back into potty training and all of that. It's been a challenge, and I'm sure it has been for you. But part of what I'm hoping to do during this season, where we do have this opportunity to lean into our parenting in a whole different way, is to offer some real life practical advice, tips, ways to navigate the challenges that you're facing. So, Lisa wrote in not too long ago about lying, and she has a child who's lying, and very often it's like very obvious things, or it seems like, why are you even lying about that? Like, there's no need to lie about that. And here's the deal with lying: it is not a matter of if your child lies, it's a matter of when your child lies, because lying is less of a morality issue. We very quickly can turn it into, a character issue of, and call them a liar, which is a label, because if you're a liar, you can't change that, right? But your child will lie. They will go to lying. They will use the behavior of lying because it's really more of a faulty problem solving skill, in that they're using lying to try to solve a problem. The same reasons why you use lying to solve a problem, because if you're honest with yourself, you lie. And I mean, I know that's kind of ironic, right? Like, when you're honest with yourself, you lie. But the truth is, people lie. Adults and kids lie for the same reasons. There's two reasons. One, it's the fear of punishment or the avoidance of consequences. Feeling like, well, maybe I might be able to get out of that. Or two, it's you think that it's to your benefit, and that could be like stretching the truth or leaving something out or letting someone think something about you because it makes you seem better. And so that's why children are lying. They're using, and more often it's the first one. It's that I'm afraid of the consequences. I want to avoid them. I don't want to get in trouble, especially if there's severe consequences, in your household. If you tend to go more on the strict side, then lying often feels like that's a way to solve my problem. I'm in a jam and I can use lying, and that might get me out of it. So it's really about a faulty problem solving skill. And too often as parents, we see the misbehavior, the lying, and we think that is a threat to the life skill and the character skill of being an honest person, of being a person of integrity, choosing to be honest even when it's hard. But the truth is, it's when our children lie, it's when our children misbehave, that's the opportunity to teach them the life skill, because they're showing us what they need help learning. I need help learning dealing with hard situations. I need help learning to be honest. I need help learning to make better choices, whatever that is, right? So lying, and it happens at all stages, right? Like, when they're real little, it's, I don't know, I didn't see it, not me, I didn't do it, very obvious things like they break the lamp and they blame the cat, right? But as they get older, lying becomes more complicated, because their reasoning abilities increase, and it can feel more offensive. I remember the first time Imogen lied to me, she was about 5. A real lie, not just a I didn't do it. That she had to go clean her room, pick up her room after playtime before we did the next thing. And so she was upstairs in her room for quite a bit and came down. And I said, "Is your room all picked up?" And she goes, "Yep." And I was like, "Great." And I had no reason not to believe her. I tend to be a trusting person. And so I took her at her word. And it wasn't until we went up for bedtime I saw she hadn't cleaned her room at all. And I was like, "You lied to me," and I first felt so offended. And, later I was able to talk with her about why she chose to lie. And really it was, she didn't know how to clean her room. She felt really overwhelmed by it. And, we worked through that. But when our kids lie, we need to not take it personally. And we need to not go to character as like, this is a character issue. This is a morality issue. There is morality to be learned in it, but it's not that your child is immoral. It's that they're choosing to try to solve their problem with lying, and we want to give them other skills. So, that was the first time Imogen lied, but actually I want to be really honest, Lisa, you're not alone. So, I teach parenting. I teach a whole class, whole workshops on lying and how to deal with it. But recently Steve and I have been working through an issue with Imogen around lying. So I'm going to use that as part of the example to how to deal with lying. So The background is, many of you know, we are living with family right now, and normally in our home there's not any junk food at all or any treats. Like, we're a pretty boring household, and there's like fruit and vegetables, and that's about it. But here there are treats, and that we're not in control of that. This is not our home, and so there's a pantry just full of delicious treats. And Imogen has had a very hard time with self-control when it comes to this, and so we've been finding wrappers all around the house, like tucked into things. And so last week, I asked her on three different occasions, Imogen, is this your wrapper? This seems like it's your wrapper. And she goes, straight faced, no, Mom, that is not mine. I did not eat that. I did not do that. Nope. And we've worked through being honest in the past, and she's always like come clean in the past. And so I was like, well, I looked at her, I said, okay, I'm gonna believe you. I'm gonna take you at your word. 3 different times. And then finally it happened again, and she lied to me again. And that night, Steve and I were in bed talking about it, and I was just like so mad about it, like, wah! And Steve said, well, let me give one more shot. Let me give it one more try. And he went to her last week and he said, hey, we're pretty sure that this is you, that these wrappers are from you. And here's the deal. We are going to find out the truth. Like, the truth, it's going to come out at some point. And right now you haven't broken that much trust. It'd be much better if you came clean if it is you. Because if you keep lying and we do find out that it's you, that's not going to go very well, because you'll have broken our trust. And she came clean, and she came up to me and she cried and she said she was sorry. And I was like, we worked through it. I shared how I felt, all that. And I thought, yes, yeah, we're done. And then yesterday I found 2 wrappers and candy wrappers. And I looked at Imogen, I said, are these your wrappers? And each time I've said, you're not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to be angry. I just want you to be honest with me. And she looked me straight in the face and said, no, Mom, those are not mine. And I thought, okay, well, pretty sure they are, but I'm going to, I looked at her, I said, okay, I'm going to take you at your word. I'm going to believe you. Well, it comes to find out they are her wrappers, right? And I am just so mad. Like, I just feel like, and we worked through it this morning, and I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to use it as we go along. But all that to say, lying, it's not a matter of if, it's when your kids choose to lie. And how we deal with it matters, because it's this opportunity to teach the life skill of honesty, of integrity, of trust, and being trustworthy in our words and our actions. And that's important. Now, one thing to say is, if you are prone to excessive punishment, you're much more likely to have your kids lie, because they're afraid. They're afraid to get in trouble. And that's something to just think through on your own. But how do we deal with lying when it happens? What are some things that we can do? And there's a couple things. Well, I have 5 things. Actually, not a couple. There's 5. 5 very practical things that we can do. But first, I want you to think through, one, is there something in the environment that is too much for them, that maybe is provoking them to lie? Or maybe they're lying about their electronic use, and you look around and go, actually they did, this is a lot for them. Or I look at Imogen, I think this pantry is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for her. Like, she's just not used to this, and this is like singing to her. She's having a very hard time making good food choices around this. And so I know that part of the challenge for her is the environment, and I can't necessarily change that, but at least I can understand. And if you first stop and ask yourself, why is my child lying? Whatever it is that they're lying about will give you a sense of what might be going on with them. So if they're lying about school, maybe there is an issue with a teacher, or there's a class that they're feeling overwhelmed with, or there's a schoolmate that's bothering them. If they're lying about, things that are around the house, maybe they are not ready for those privileges. With every privilege comes responsibility, and have you made that really clear? And sometimes the responsibility is just showing that you can honor the boundaries. Are they lying about a school friend? Or what are they lying? Whatever they're lying about will give you a sense of what's going on with them. So take a look at the environment, take a look at your own responses, and figure out, and maybe I inadvertently encouraging lying because they're too afraid to come to me with the truth. Again, you're not responsible. You're not to blame necessarily for your children's choices, but we contribute. We contribute to them. The other thing is, don't set them up to lie. So the number one, out of 5, number 1 is state the facts. State the facts. What we often do is we'll come to them and say, did you throw your dinner away? And we know they threw their dinner away. And then when they go, no, I didn't. We go, oh, inside we're like, they just lied to me, right? But you already knew. Or like, did they not fill up the car? Did they take the bike out? Whatever it is, if you know they did it, don't frame it in the form of a question, right? Like for me, I genuinely didn't know if those wrappers were hers, right? I assumed they were, but I was going to ask her, but if you know that they've done something, if you know the lamp is broken, rather than saying, did someone break the lamp? Come to them and state the facts. The lamp is broken and it seems like one of you did it. And I'm not sure how it happened, but I would like to know. I see that your dinner has been thrown away and not been eaten. I'd like to talk about that. I see that the car has been taken out last night because the odometer has more miles on it than when I last put it in. Let's talk about that. Rather than, did you take the car out last night? So be upfront. Don't set them up to lie to you more, because they will, right? If they're already lying to get out of something, they're going to lie again, and you're going to get more offended and you're going to start going to this crazy place, right? So state the facts. But it's not an interrogation, right? You're not demanding a confession. Really, I see this. This is what I know to be true. So even yesterday, to be able to say, Imogen, these seem like they are your wrappers. You have been hiding wrappers. And even when I asked her and she looked offended, I said, you have to understand, you've been lying to me. So it's very hard for me to believe what you're saying. So be upfront, state the facts. If you know they're not being honest, you can say, I know this is not true. I see this and I know this is not true. Be careful to not put labels on it, right? Like, you're a liar, you're lazy, you're dishonest, because labels, again, it's like, if you put a label on someone, they can't change that, right? That's something that they are, not something that they're doing. It's behavior, not a label. So don't label, just state the facts. This is what I see. I would like to talk about it. I would like an explanation. Help me understand. And then name the dilemma, right? So this is a problem, right? This is a problem that food is being snuck, or that wrappers are being left around the house, or that the car is being taken out without permission, or that homework is not being done, but you're telling me that it is. And here's the difference. You want to really know the difference between guilt versus shame, right? Shame says you are bad. You are bad, and you can't be changed, and you can't be trusted, and you are terrible, and you're not worthy. Guilt says what you are doing is not worthy of you, right? And so we want our children to feel guilt about the behavior that they do, meaning, because you can change. Guilt is a response to something that is actually able to be changed. It's a choice that you've made, and you can make a different choice. Shame gets into who we are. And so when we shame, that's often when we are being manipulative, right? When we are saying like, well, someone is lying, or I'm going to get to the bottom of this. We start to, they're going to be more afraid, right? Because shame is this feeling of like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, and now someone's going to know that. So yeah, we want to avoid shame, but guilt is conviction of saying this is not okay. Lying is not okay. And one of the things that we've talked about with lying is the reason why it's not so much the behavior. I mean, eating food out of the pantry that you shouldn't be eating. Yes, I don't love that, but that's going to pass, right? But lying, why it's so problematic is that it breaks down trust. It breaks down trust, and eventually you can't trust what the person is saying. It's like Chicken Little, right? You say the sky is falling, and one day the sky really is falling, but you said it so many times that nobody believes you. And so helping our children know, hey, honesty is important because trust is important, and I need to know that you are speaking trustworthy and acting trustworthy. So that's one thing. So today, when I sat down with Imogen and talked to her about these candy wrappers, and she came clean to me. I think she overheard me saying to Steve, like, we're gonna have to have a conversation, and she came clean. And And one of the things I said to her is, hey, here's the problem, Imogen, is you keep lying to me, and you lie pretty believably. And there's going to come a point in time where actually someone does accuse you of something that you didn't do. And you're going to need me to trust you. And I don't know that I will be able to if you continue to speak and act in an untrustworthy way. So, because I'm having a hard time trusting you now. And that really got through to her, why trust matters. So we want to focus less on like, don't lie just because lying is wrong, and why lying is damaging. Because lying makes it so people don't trust you. And trust is so important. We need to trust one another and what we say and what we do. So it's an opportunity to teach trustworthiness and integrity. So you want to state the facts. You want to name the dilemma. Hey, we've got a problem on our hands, right? Trust is being broken. This is happening. I'm not sure what to do. And then the third thing is to find solutions whenever possible, right? Very often we go to consequences, and our consequences don't even match the situation, right? So like you lied about your homework, so you can't go to your friend's birthday party, right? They don't really go together. It's just you being mean, right? Because we think that's shame, right? We think punishment, shame, threats are all gonna work, and they're just create more fear. So be a detective in those moments. Why are they lying? Today I asked Imogen, what do you feel? Do you feel anything when you're looking at me and you're lying to me and you're lying? And she said, I feel really guilty. And so I asked her, why did you lie yesterday? And she said, well, her cousin was in the other room and she was afraid of her cousin overhearing her, right? And she's like, and I just didn't think to ask you to go into a different room. She's 9, right? Like, of course she didn't, right? Her brain is not that advanced yet. So, but asking them, why did you lie? What were you feeling when you did that? What were you thinking? And then another great question, what could you have done differently? If we could rewind that situation and you could do it over again, what would you do? Right? And that was really big because Imogen was like, oh, I would take you into the room and I would tell you and we would talk about it, right? And so then said, well, we have a problem here because you're breaking trust with your words and you're breaking trust with your actions. And I can see you're having a problem with self-control. One of the solutions could be that you're not allowed downstairs near the pantry without mom or dad around, right? I was like, I don't really want it to be that way, but we might need to get that way if you can't control yourself, right? And she's like, well, we could put a camera in the pantry. I'm like, well, okay, that's one idea, but that's not really gonna help you make better choices because this is about you making better choices. So what else could we do? And she actually came up with a great solution, and that's part of when you don't just impose a consequence on your kids, but you actually try to help them solve the problem. You are helping them learn. You're helping them learn why they're lying and what they could do differently. And her solution actually was, well, Mom, I could come to you next time I'm feeling really tempted and tell you about it. And I said, that would be a great idea. Because one, that would invite me in to help you solve the problem, and it would start to build trust again because I would see that you are making a better choice, right? And so finding solutions, it might take some time. You might say, hey, let's take the next day and you come back to me with 5 different ways we could solve this problem. Because there's a problem that they're using lying to try to solve. And really we need to solve the other problem, right? And so Imogen is really having a problem with self-control and she's trying to hide it, right? And she's using lying to solve that problem while we came up with a better solution. And then when they come up with a solution or when they start to try to do something different, the fourth thing to do is to acknowledge improvement wherever you can, right? And they're gonna stumble, they're gonna fall, they're gonna get it wrong, but when we acknowledge improvement and we reward honesty, one of the big things is don't punish honesty, because if you punish honesty, they're less inclined to come to you and be honest, because what's the benefit in them? And so Imogen knows if you're honest with us, we're on your side, we're here to help. We might not love the decision that you made, but lying, the reason why lying is so problematic is it breaks trust. And that takes a while to earn back, right? And so be like on the hunt for any slight improvement. The next time Imogen comes to me and says, hey Mom, I really, really want to go in the pantry and get a chocolate, and I'm going to sit down with her and be like, hey, way to go. Like, you followed through on your plan. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. what an awesome step. Let's figure out what we could do, right? And the fifth thing, the very last thing, is make sure that you are modeling honesty. Kids pay attention to everything, and they are very observant, and very often we treat them as if they're not very smart, right? Like that we can trick them. And so we say, oh, I'm sorry, we're all out of crackers, and then the next day there's magically crackers there, right? Like kids are going to put two and two together. If you say, oh, the TV's broken tonight, or the toy fell off a bridge, right? And you threw it away, and they find that you threw it away. Or if they see you lying to get out of situations, or if they see you stretching the truth to make yourself seem better, you are not modeling what you're asking them to do. And so be honest in front of them, but also be honest with them. So if you don't want them to have a juice box at the end of the night, don't lie and say there aren't any juice boxes. Just say, I'm sorry, we're done with those today. You can have one tomorrow, right? We don't need to lie to our kids in order to get them to be cooperative. So if you are using lying with your children, be aware of that. Be aware that they pick up on that. They are very observant, and so watch that. So those are some things to do with lying. There's a very practical story in my own life. If you've got other issues with lying, be sure to comment in the video, below the video, or if you have other parenting issues that you want to tackle, send me a message and I'd be happy to talk about it and give you some tips on what you could do to maybe help that to go a little bit better. Because that's the thing with parenting, we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for improvement, and we all need help along the way. I've had lots of help along the way, and I'm here to help you as well. So thanks. I hope this was helpful for you. And, again, model honesty, teach honesty, reward honesty.